Hey Martin, sorry I lost you there for a minute. Had to
It's all
rejoin.
good. No,
Good
it's
morning
all
to you.
good evening to you.
Hmm.
Thanks for staying up late for us.
You're welcome. I did confess to being a little bit of a night owl, so
Yes.
yeah, that's all good.
Awesome.
Your
So
space
congrats.
looks beautiful.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm not sure what to do with it just yet. You know what I mean? Like we I still have my space in my house, so that's kind of skeleton now because I moved my old reformer and all these different things. So I thought maybe I'll still do core conversations there and then show up a little bit later and kind of figure out my day. And then I woke up this morning at like 4:30, like ready to go. Just like let's get this running. So
Yeah.
so I just brought some stuff over and just made it happen. So you
Wow.
are officially my first guest in the new space.
Wow. Well, I'm extremely honored. Thank you for reaching out as well. I'm so honored. Yeah, I'm sure you will have like a million and one uses for that space. I'm sure you know exactly how to torture and mend and all sorts of things, people in that space. So yeah,
Yes.
congratulations. You and Alex sound like the power couple there. I love that, how you spur each other on. It sounds
Well,
terrific.
you know, it's funny. I was almost gonna prime you for a conversation on power couples and working as partners because I could say the same for you guys too, right? Can you show us
Yeah.
your ladder barrel?
Oh, I can. Yeah, I sure can. Hang on one sec. Let me take you out here and flip you around. And here is my ladder barrel that hubby made, sitting right here. Pride and joy at the moment. And at the moment, I'm sitting in also my new chair, my
You
baby
don't
chair.
say.
I don't say. It's very comfy.
There you go. Well,
Very
congratulations on your
comfy.
new baby.
Thank you. Yes, I have to name her. We've got Big Barry over there. Seemed like a good name for him.
Mhm.
And yeah, the name will come to me, I'm sure.
Nice.
Now, in your honor, I've got here Rad Dad.
There you go. That's
See,
awesome.
my husband has three cups in this house, and I don't have one saying Rad Mum or Great Mum. My husband has three. So, anyway.
That's too funny.
Mm.
So, for those who don't know all about Celia, can you tell us just like your name and your business and what you do there?
Yeah, so I'm Celia Jones, and my business is called Celia Jones Pilates. I'm in Melbourne, Australia, and I believe I'm probably like 14 miles from the CBD of Melbourne. And I run just, well, not just an amazing little space. It's growing by the minute with apparatus, and I just take one-on-one clients here, and I get out and about and I do other stuff. And sometimes I get out to schools and share Pilates with kids because I'm also passionate about sharing that with them and getting onto their posture right, just like Joseph had said in Return to Life and Your Health, to get straight onto them before all those bad habits form, right?
Mm,
But yeah, I'm passionate about spending time one on one with people and just getting them in touch with their body. So I'm at the family home. I have this lovely little space downstairs, and it's my haven. I come down here and no one bothers me. I'm either
yes.
working or I'm working out, and everyone else lives up there and does their thing. It's been, I cannot tell you what a blessing it's been in this lockdown, like to have this
Mm,
space and be able to create solitude for myself. It's been great. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So, how long have you had your space there?
We have been here a little over 7, 8 years, but I didn't quite kick the space off the ground until probably a good 3, 4 years ago.
Mm,
So, although I've been qualified since 2002, and I think I was the last one to actually come off the New York Pilates method before it transferred over to Romana's Pilates.
okay.
So I did like I've got the manual that Sean Gallagher wrote with Romana, and
Okay.
I've got that manual, which is a kick butt manual. It's
Is it?
fantastic, and yeah, and I trained with Cynthia Lachard, pardon
Okay.
me, up in Sydney. Yeah, Grandmaster teacher there.
Mm,
So yeah, I've been teaching all the way through, but you know, you have a family, you have kids, and Pilates works for me now in my space. So
yes.
it's terrific. Yeah.
I've always encouraged women who love fitness to become personal trainers and now Pilates as well, because it is so family friendly. You really
Agree.
can just, yeah, like you can build it around your schedule, around your family, and it seems to just work.
Yeah, but you can also travel. That's the
Right.
beauty of this gig as well, is that I can travel. And now with Zoom, hello, like
Mhm.
I can, last night I had a client in New York, like just
Yes.
zooming through, and the world is just opening up, and it's yeah, it's just exciting. It's an exciting time to see what's going to happen with my business and with the one-on-one clients. So
Yes.
the world is really our oyster, depending on what we
It,
want to do with it. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
And yeah, I do want to spend a little bit more time on that because there are so many people that are new to this Pilates world or just getting their certifications. And there are so many different business models in
Hmm.
terms of how to run your business. People who want the big, glorious, storefront downtown studio,
Hmm.
and then people like Miguel Silva who like moved to somewhere in I think Lisbon, I believe it is, and
Off the
has those
beaten track.
off
Yep,
the beaten,
yep.
and people will
Hmm.
come like
Hmm.
so. Your business model is in your home,
Yep.
one-on-one outreach to young people.
Outreach to young people. Also, there's a yoga studio that I teach, that I offer, the classical method of the way I teach too, which they're far and few between classes, Pilates teachers such as myself. I believe there's kind of only a handful of Romana's Pilates instructors that I know of in my community that are in Melbourne. So it's a pretty small knit community. There are other classical training people that have they're doing their own thing, and they do have the big commercial shop fronts. I've never wanted that.
No.
I no, I lust after all the beautiful equipment and the lovely how it's all showcased and it looks beautiful, and I can't fit a Cadillac in here at present. That's
Mhm.
all right. I can live with that. I love to hang upside down, but I live with that.
Yes.
Um, so from that aspect, yes, I would love to be able to have all the bells and whistles, but it doesn't suit my life. It doesn't suit my family's life, and they have
Yes.
to come first, right? So I
Right.
can travel. I can travel, and I can play in other people's studios and stay connected that way. And yeah, I was having this conversation with somebody. I've never been overly ambitious. Competitive, yes.
Okay.
Ambitious, no.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's something that my husband and I always not really driven by money. Now that's not because we don't need money, you know,
Mhm.
but
Right.
it's simply because money isn't a motivator for me.
Yes.
Um, Human connections are a motivating factor for me, and the reason that I'm doing the work is to bring joy to people, to bring ease of movement to people's lives, to their bodies,
Yes.
and to get them in touch with themselves. Because I guess as in tune with my body as I've been over the years doing whatever it's been, very
Hmm.
physically active all my life as a kid, I lost touch with that connection with myself for a
Yes.
really, really long period of time. And Pilates brought me back to me, because Pilates
Yes.
makes me feel. It makes me feel. It makes the people that I teach feel, and that's what I'm passionate about. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So
yeah.
say more about ease of movement. We throw that term around, but
Hmm.
what exactly does that mean?
Oh, wow. When a client comes in, whether they're new or they're regular, I'm going to ask them, how are you feeling today? How's the body feeling? And they know it's a specific question to their body, unless they want to talk about something else. That's fine. Most of us look for the problems in our
Right.
life, in our
Hmm.
bodies. So they're going
Right.
to tell me what's wrong. And what I like for them to tell me, unless there's some injury, what I like to hear is, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I don't feel that pain that I did last week or last year, or uh, that's healed. I want them to come onto
Yes.
a positive spin and change their mindset, because I believe Pilates
Yes.
has the power to do that.
Yes. That's
So
so
ease of
well.
movement
Yeah.
for me is that. It is that.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, almost this method works in making people like going out of the studio and helping them sit up in the car properly, having
Right.
conversations standing at a cocktail party or whatever it might be, but
Yes.
they're
Yes.
holding themselves with ease, not with, this rigidity.
Yes.
Um, so that's kind of what I mean by that. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
That similar to that, when I got into personal training, one of the stories that I heard that really resonated with me was there's a story of a father, and he was playing with his kids at a park. And he's sitting on a park bench, and his little toddlers are just like kind of playing in the field. And his son started to move a little too close to the street. He was kind of chasing after a toy, and he's on the grass
Mm,
still. And he was moving closer and closer to the street. So he had to like get up and have to run after his kid. And as
right.
he's running towards his kid, he actually ran out of breath and had to
Oof.
stop
Yeah.
before he could get to his kid 'cause he was so gassed. And then another parent ran past him, got his kid, saved him from going out to the street. And that was his
Wow.
wake up call to
Yeah.
realize that he needed to get in shape because he didn't even have the fitness level to save his son. And if there wasn't someone
Hmm.
else there, and it was like this huge wake up call for him.
I love
And
that. Yeah.
I think that that's almost like one of my motivators when it comes to training for me is wanting people to have the ease of movement and have their body ready to do whatever it needs to do
Yes.
when it's called into action.
Yeah. Like if you're in the wild, right? Or you're like we, because we're animals, in that sense. And Joseph Pilates played with all of that as well. Like he wrote about
Hmm.
that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's so interesting because what is the use in having this body if you're not in control of it? I say control in,
Yes.
inverted commas, but if it can't do for you what you need it to do to get you through life, especially, saving your little ones. Yeah. Or
Yes.
jumping
Yeah.
out of the way of a moving bus, or goodness knows what else can happen in your life. Just
Right.
slipping down a hill and kind of not being able to have your balance and catch yourself from falling.
Yes.
That
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Preventative. Yeah.
Preventative.
Yeah.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
and there's a strength, and I guess here even in Canada, like slipping on ice or like you just being an older adult to be able to regain your balance, like all of those little
Absolutely.
things we don't even really think about, but we're
Yeah.
always ready for those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. And also ease of movement, coming back to that in terms of how you use your body. So I'm a big believer in knowing how your body's put together and giving my clients a sense of empowerment in how to use their bodies. So
Yes.
for instance, if I was to ask a client where their arm begins, they're going to say here, just here. This is it. This is my
Right.
arm, right?
Yes. Right.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, great. That's part of your arm, but you actually have a joint that is the first joint of your arm, and that would be your collarbone. Okay. So
Hmm.
if you're not having this range of movement in your collarbone, you're not able to feel that your arm actually comes all the way around, attaches to your back, and that's
Yes.
what stabilizes your arm to your body. So when you're
Hmm.
doing your arm circles, or when you're lifting something up, or waving goodbye, whatever it is you do, you're holding from where your arm attaches to your torso. It's not just an
Yes.
arm.
Right. Yes.
Same for the legs, same for the middle of your body. Where is that? Where is,
Hmm.
people don't know how to use their body and where to bend from
Yes.
that stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. And that education is so key. And that I think that is one of the pieces of our job as coaches is to not just
Hmm.
give people a good workout,
Hmm.
but to educate them on what their body is capable of and what to look for in that good workout.
Yeah, yeah. So they become their own trainer in that sense. I always
Yes.
say, if all you gain from this, let's say it's a first session I have with somebody, if all you walk out of here with is my voice in your head saying, adjust your car seat, get into your car, sit your goddamn car seat up, for goodness sake. Don't be,
Hmm.
doing this while you're driving. Sit up,
Hmm.
and every red light, just think in, up,
Reset.
forward,
Yes.
reset, in and up, forward.
Hmm.
Celia said, every red light, do that. If
Yes.
that's all you get, please do that. You're washing the dishes, in and up. all right, it's just let's go with that. Let everything else relax, you know. So
Yes.
um, yeah, it's empowering the people to be in charge of their own body, the architect of
Yeah.
their own happiness, right? Which
Yes,
wasn't
exactly.
actually, which I don't think was actually a quote of Joseph Pilates.
I've seen it
Someone
credited to him.
else, yeah, but I could be wrong here. I think it's another. I'm
Anyone
going to
out
go
there
out on a limb.
watching? Anyone,
Please
if
tell
anyone,
me, because I
yeah,
know there's a
yeah.
quote that was not actually his, but he used,
Mm,
and everyone thinks it's his quote. I'm going to have
right.
to like check out what that is now. It's
Yeah,
totally
for sure.
gone
And
out of
if
my
there's
head.
anyone watching that knows,
Yeah,
put it in
tell
the
us,
comment section. Yeah, correct us on that. Um,
please.
yeah, that's I was gonna say too, when you're talking about body weight, the Jared Foot, who I had on Friday, is like he does like animal flow, has a yoga cert, discovered Pilates, and just that was just one of those things that made that connection for him and understanding how intuitive that is. He talks a lot about us being able to master our body weight, pull-ups, push-ups, flowing
Right.
and contralateral movement and stuff like that. And Pilates is the exact same. And I think
Hmm.
for women especially, that's one of the things that we should really be encouraging our people towards is just really owning your body weight and strength,
Yeah,
you know?
totally. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
Yeah, so push-ups,
all of
pull-ups,
it, all of
all
it.
of it. Yeah.
If you can't lift your own body weight, if you can't do that, once again, how are you getting out of the way of that, that boulder that's coming down from that hill in a hurry? If you can't just kind of pick up and go from 0 to 100 and get the heck out of
Yes,
there, right?
right,
Um, yeah, it's life's performance. It's not
right.
just an athletic kind of competition. It's like for the performance of life. It's the biggest
Yes,
performance you'll ever have. Yeah, yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a sport.
yeah.
Peter Twist is quoted as saying that, like having a podium performance in life.
Okay,
You know,
I
that
like
that kind
that.
of yeah is really good.
Very
True Pilates Perth saying, I
Hey,
think it could,
Soph.
yeah, I think it could be his. Could be
And
wrong. Curious now.
oh, she said, okay, could be, yeah, there's one. Hello, Zara. I'm just saying hi to a few people that have
Yeah, please
joined in.
do.
Hi
Okay,
there.
so who's True Pilates Perth?
True Pilates Perth is, she can probably pop it down in the comment there, but we met just recently on a continuing Pilates education
Okay.
course with Cynthia Lachard at
Hmm.
Cynthia Lachard Pilates Method Studio, and she's got an amazing studio up in Perth. So there
Okay,
you go.
cool.
So shout out to you.
Yes, shout out. And you could be like our back office looking up those quotes and stats for us while we have our
Yeah,
conversation, and then you can put it in the
yeah.
comment section for us.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
there's definitely a quote. There is,
Yeah.
it's doing my head in now. It might come to
Mhm.
me after this is all over.
Oh yeah, for sure. You'll be texting me like
I
later.
know,
I know it.
I
Um,
know,
so can you tell me about how you got into Pilates? Like, how did you discover Pilates?
for sure. I was, uh, I was like drowning in the hospitality business, like drowning, drowning,
Mm,
drowning. And long story short is, I was just headed for about my 30th birthday, and I just had said to myself, something's got to give here.
mm,
I'm partying too hard. I'm not healthy. I'm not fit. I'm not doing any exercise. I'm just working, and partying, and that was it. And I was single at this point, and so I knew that something really, really had to change. I'd floundered from high school. I went to do a performing arts course,
okay.
and didn't follow that through. And so I wanted to be an actress, and I wanted to be all these, wonderful things, grandiose ideas of myself, and
Yes.
nothing came to fruition, right? Because I didn't put the work in.
Mm,
And I ended up in hospitality and high up in management, but whatever, it was enough. And someone had mentioned something about celebrities doing Pilates in America, and I'm like, what is that? And we're just sitting around, having a few drinks at the time, and it just planted a seed. And I really had it at work, and I just thought to myself, I'm going off on a holiday. I'm taking myself away. I'm going to Koh Samui. I'm off to Thailand. See ya. And that was like March in, I want to say 2000. And I just headed over there. And still, I'm like, the wheels were turning, right? I'm going to solve all my problems. I'm going to go back. And, like doing this little mini
Yes.
geographical holiday was going to give me this major epiphany and bring
Right.
me a whole new life. Yeah.
Right.
And it didn't. It didn't. I kept partying hard, and uh, I was mugged. And yeah, it was kind of serious. I was dragged from a motorbike. These two guys on a bike grabbed my bag, and I was dragged behind this motorbike.
What?
I don't know how far, but I was like literally from upright, just walking along. And then all of a sudden I was like this and getting like dragged along, yelling out
Oh my.
obscenities at these guys, and they let go. And I literally, like, talking about, life is our performance, our greatest performance. I literally went from this position, dragged on this gravel road, to this position, like in a heartbeat. It just went like
Yes.
that. And they let go. They didn't get the bag, right? There was nothing in the bag. Everything was on my person. So
Hmm.
it was just a gut instinct to hold on. And yeah, I was pretty bruised up from that. So that was like 2 or 3 days into this holiday. And yeah, I went back after that with this feeling of doom, gloom, dread,
Hmm.
feeling completely, uh, walls were broken down. Like I just was not invincible. I thought I was,
Yes. Right. We discovered your own mortality.
right? And not even at the time. I had to come home, and I had to see my mum at the airport, who I didn't tell. Like, I'm a 30-year-old woman overseas, but I
Hmm.
didn't tell anyone because I'm like, she might come and get me, or whatever it was. I was just like, I
Yes.
can do this. I've got this. Don't ask for help. No, I've got it.
Hmm.
And I just lost it. And it was a really funky time for
Wow.
me. Yeah, very
Yeah.
funky time. And I decided to, all the arrows were just pointing to Pilates. I couldn't
Hmm.
straighten my elbow very well. Um, I was pretty banged up, and I investigated. And when I investigated Pilates, and I kind of Googled Pilates, I think like 4 places came up in the
Okay.
world.
Wow.
And in the world, Drago's gym was one of them.
Great.
Cynthia Lachard Pilates Method Studio was the other one.
Hmm.
And I don't even know who the third one was,
Would have
but
been
I got,
Mendez?
may have been,
Menez?
is he AP? No,
Yes, I think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, I knew, being an all or nothing person, if I do
Hmm.
this, I want to get to the root of this. I knew
Yes.
that. I knew I wanted to get to the root. And so I did. And I was so fortunate to find this beautiful boutique studio in South Melbourne, so not far from Melbourne CBD. And she had just newly been certified in the New York Pilates method,
Hmm.
and done her training with Romana, with Dragos, with Cynthia, and she took me on and gave me a really
Wow.
reasonable rate. Everything just came together. The
It
stars
just
collided.
aligned.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And yeah, I did all of my prerequisite hours with her, got to an intermediate level, and just knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I loved it. It made me
Hmm.
feel. It made me feel,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I
And
love that.
every chiro, every osteo, whoever I went to, they could not fix this arm. Like,
Hmm.
I couldn't straighten my elbow. It felt like something just needed to pop in there. And
Yes.
I can remember learning the rowing series on the reformer for the very first time. We learned it on the mat first, and then we had to head
Yes.
over to the reformers and hold on to the handles. And suddenly, I don't remember exactly. It might have been like rowing 3, where I just kind of come from the chest and reach out
Yes.
and lower and
Hmm.
lift, and my arm just went pop. My elbow just like, and I went, and it was
I'm,
fixed. Like, I
yeah.
literally never had an issue with that arm ever again. The
Yes.
rowing seat, and I was like, I'm in. I'm in.
Right.
This is it.
Sold. Yes.
I'm totally sold.
That's an amazing story.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've said it a few times where it's like made me feel, period. Like not like made me feel good, made me feel great, made me feel strong, just made me feel.
Uh, hmm
And
you're clever, right? You've picked up on that.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, I was very disconnected from myself, from my spirit.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, as I said, I was a big partier. I like to party a lot,
Mhm.
and I don't think I was as connected to myself, to my spirit as I should have been. Well, I know I wasn't. And I
Right.
know that Pilates brought me closer to myself, to the potential that I
Yes.
could have, right?
Right.
And that's why I think there was this disconnect with my body, my mind, my spirit. Not
Mhm.
only that, I was drinking way too hard. Um, I don't do that anymore. Like, I'm nearly 7 years in sobriety. I don't drink anymore, and I am a better person for that too. That has
Yes.
also brought me a lot more, a lot more ability to feel. That's
Awareness.
awareness, heightened sense of awareness, and able to tap in and trust the gut a lot more.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a feeling that's going to be a common thread through this week
Okay,
that made me
okay.
feel because is that's the beauty of Pilates. We it brings us this awareness of our body, but
Mm-hmm.
when you really get into it, it's not just awareness of my bicep firing or my glute activating. It's awareness of where my body is in space,
Yes,
where
yes. That
my,
whole proprioception.
that
Yeah, yeah.
proprioception, and
Mm-hmm.
that spiritual awareness, that
Yep.
like there's so many different levels to that. And then that, if I wanted to take it one layer deeper to you as a woman or to me as a man, that masculinity, understanding what this physical male body needs and what this physical female body needs,
Yes.
um, to find that confidence from within.
Mm-hmm.
So my confidence isn't determined by how good I look compared to a picture
Oh,
in
yeah.
social media.
Amen. Yeah, amen to that. I mean, confidence, eh, body or not body related, confidence has come, in my experience, from doing the shit that I'm scared of.
Mm-hmm.
That has given me the confidence in myself to face the things that I'm most afraid of, and
Yes.
to feel the discomfort, lean on in, and
Mm-hmm.
grow through it. Nothing that came
Yes.
easy to me ever made me feel good. Isn't that weird? You know,
Right.
everything I've had to work hard for has 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 built my confidence and my self-esteem.
Yes.
Mm.
And as you said there, like lean on in, you lean into that discomfort. If I was a boxer, one of the things that they teach you is, at the end of the punch, that's the hardest part of the punch. So if you're leaning into the person, they can't get that real hard sting of a swing in because you're leaning into it. Like you're leaning into
Uh-huh.
the person, so you're not at the hardest point of contact. So as scary as it is to move towards that thing that's
It's
aggressing
this
against you,
it's this
yeah,
yeah, it's this tango that we do, this.
right.
And it's so interesting you brought up boxing, because that was my go-to. Pilates wasn't, in really early recovery. I'd do some Pilates for
Mhm.
myself, for my own practice, but boxing was my thing. I was
Ah,
just like I was out there. I was sparring in rings, and
yes,
just having so much fun with that. So I know exactly what you mean by that to and fro, because it does.
yes.
It takes the punch. It takes the sting out of a punch
Hmm.
when you're doing that dance so well and that footwork's happening.
But it's so scary
Oh
to
my
do
God.
that.
Yes, it
And the
is.
beauty of that and that scariness, like you're saying, see, I love that you're putting it that way because once you've done it once, you have this track record within your mind
Hmm.
that
A
last
neural
time I was in
pathway.
this, that neural pathway is there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep. And yes, it's scary again, but you also know what happens when you do this right and lean into it
Yeah,
as opposed to running away from it.
totally. And that things are, if things just work out okay and you've done your best to work through something, then that's okay. You don't
Yes.
have to nail everything at any
Hmm.
time, but certainly not every time, you know, because that's where
Yes.
the good stuff is. That's where the magic happens for me.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah.
And there's courage in trying.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, those neural pathways, once you, uh, you know, once you've done something once and you know that you didn't die because you gave it a try, right? Um,
Yes.
I would die knowing that I didn't want to give something a try. Really, you know,
Yes.
the regret would be worse than now that I know that. Now I know
Hmm.
that I'm not going to die because I'm doing something scary. Yeah, I might be embarrassed, but I'm not going to die of embarrassment, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That I think my wife's still watching. So a bit of a story, if you don't know. We got married 3 years ago, coming in August.
Hmm.
And part of the story, the backstory on us getting married so suddenly is the fact that she's from the US and I'm from Canada.
Right.
Right. So now
Yep.
I've been married before, divorced, have two awesome kids, have a great house, everything is happy in my world. And then she came along and
Yeah.
she made my life that much happier, but I was resolved on never getting married again, never having kids again, never doing any of that stuff because I'm good. I
Hmm.
figured this out. I've licked my wounds. Life is good. I'm healed, whatever.
Hmm.
Hallelujah, life is good.
Hmm.
And then she was about to be deported.
Wow.
And we had to make the tough decision whether she, moves to Texas or to back to Utah where she's from originally, and we try and do this long distance thing,
Okay.
or with our 4 years under our belt already of just been dating and being together and sharing our lives together and traveling with our kids and doing these things, if we should actually get married.
Hmm.
So she actually didn't want to. She didn't want that to be the deciding factor. So she was ready to walk away from it. And that was a hard conversation where we decided that was the best thing to
Right.
do.
Yep.
And I came to a place where I had to just ask myself the hard question of what I would regret more: trying this, getting married again,
Mm-hmm.
and it failing again and me feeling like a failure if I get divorced again,
Hmm.
or sitting at home by myself and knowing that I never actually tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we decided to go for it. So
I
we
love that.
found we found out that Monday she was going to get deported. By Friday, we found somewhere to do our wedding. Tuesday morning at Tuesday afternoon at a random house.
Oh, Martin,
We
I
put
love
everything
that.
together and we did it. We just got married and just our kids were our witnesses and boom. So it was one
How
of
old are your
those.
kids?
My guys are 17 and 14, and hers are 16 and 13. So they're all
Oh
in that
my
same age group.
goodness. How gorgeous though.
Yeah.
So they were all able to witness that. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah, and
Wow.
that's the perfect example in my mind of facing our fears, leaning into that thing that's scary, taking that try, and
Yeah.
knowing that you aren't going to die if you try this and it fails.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that with me. I love that. I love a good love story. It's always
there
pretty
you
cool.
go. It's all like warm and fuzzy up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's it. And the reality is that when we do that, when we lean into those things, we actually end up that it wasn't as scary as we thought. And two, we're
Hmm.
in a better place than we would have been if we never took that chance.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the comfort zone is just like there. And then how do
Right.
you know if there's actually, how do you know if there's anything better out there?
Hmm.
Or there's anything worse? How do you feel happiness? How do you feel sadness if you
Right.
just have plebsville, you know, just comfort?
Right.
It's not living.
It's not
It's
living.
not
It's not
living,
living.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Yep.
and you know, there was a long time where I was just scared to do anything. That I was so um, I was just just gripped with fear that if I tried something and failed, then that meant I failed. That, you know, and it's taken, you know, I'm 49 now, so it's taken a
Mm.
lot of years to actually come around and see that no, it's actually you triumph through trying. Failure or not
Yes.
failure, it doesn't matter. The failure, many of my failures have led me, and misfortunes have led me to wonderful things in my life, you know. And yeah, that's where the confidence comes from me, is doing the shit that is scary. Um, yeah,
You triumph in trying.
you have to. you have to look at it that way, or you would never try. I would never try. If I thought I had to get it perfect all the time, or if I was worried about what everyone else thought of me, that's saying that what someone else thinks of me is none of my business.
Yes.
I've had to use that as a little bit of a mantra for myself, because
Yes.
when you know your own truth and you
Hmm.
know that you can live with you, then
Hmm.
it doesn't matter. You can try things that are scary, and if you
Yes.
fail, someone
Yes.
else might have an opinion about that, and they're entitled to it.
They're entitled to
Yeah,
that.
they
Yeah,
are. Yeah,
they are.
yeah.
Absolutely. And there's such permission that comes in that triumph in trying line. I just want to take a second to celebrate the people who are trying,
Hmm.
because some people are afraid to even try to put out a post which reflects what they're trying to say, that they don't know what to do, but they're trying to do something.
Right.
And what gets lost in that is their heart and their effort and their reflection on this when they feel helpless. And from the Black community, what happens sometimes is that we want to be critical of the phraseology or the person's words or the image that they chose, when the reality is that they are trying. So I really want to
Hmm.
celebrate the people who are trying to
Absolutely. Yeah.
to express their whatever they're trying to express.
Yeah, and feeling like they can do that in a climate where they're not going to get judged for it. Because I think people don't speak out because they're in fear of being judged,
Right.
especially if something's against the grain.
Right.
People are frightened to come out and have an opinion
Yes.
because it's
Right.
against the grain. Oh, no, you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to, the world might blow up if
Mhm.
my little old opinion is not like yours. And I think that the world is in a lot of fear about having an opinion because they fear they're going to say the wrong thing,
Yes.
seem like they're stepping on someone's toes, seem like they're not diplomatic. I think
Mhm.
that's what really inhibits people from having a say. I know to a degree it does me.
It does to me as well.
Yeah, yeah.
However, I think it should be said right now that you are going to be judged when you put something out there.
Hmm.
So let's just get over that from now. You will be judged on it,
Hmm.
and you might say something wrong, but if your heart's in the right place, it's not hard to say, I stand corrected. This is what I was trying to say, or this is actually inaccurate. And this person showed me that this is probably a better way of saying it. We can make
Yes.
pivots after we've said something. Even my podcast I put out just a day ago, and I said some strong things in there. And if I'm wrong on something, I welcome someone to come to me and say that you're wrong on your vantage point on that. And if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, I will change my stance on it. If I'm right and you feel I'm wrong, then that's okay too.
It opens up a conversation.
It opens up a conversation. One of the things too that I'm seeing with this whole process is that Pilates is our language,
Hmm.
and Pilates is our medium where we can give people confidence, give people faith, give people strength.
Hmm. Yeah, and hope that, their pain might subside, or they learn the tools, or they they can coordinate their body the way that we're asking them to.
Yes.
Um, Pilates offers so much more than just strength and the exercises in them. I just
It's
get
more than a six pack.
it's so not a six pack. It's totally more than that. It's building the quality of somebody's life. It really,
Yes.
really is.
It is. It
You
is.
know,
Say that the things that I do in life, I measure by the level of impact that it could have. So I
I
don't
love that.
chase, yeah, so I don't chase
Yeah,
after a salary, I need to make six figures, I need to do that. I look at it as like, well, how big is my scope of influence here? How much of an impact can I make with this career change?
yeah, yeah. I relate to that. I do relate to that because not only does not only do I empower, and as Pilates instructors, we empower our clients. I I lead the way in terms of showing my kids how I live my life. Like I lead by example in fitness,
Yes.
as you would as
Yes.
well. Look at you,
Mhm.
and that to me is a really important and integral part of being a parent too, is just like being passionate about your thing, loving it, leading by example. I wish my kids would do Pilates with me, right?
Mhm.
They don't as yet. They have a couple of times, but I think I'm a little hard on them.
Mhm.
Um, you're mine. You should do this, you know, or you should
Mhm.
know this already. You should have come out of in
Right.
utero doing this, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little tough on them, but it's that leading by example, and one
Right.
day they might come around.
Right.
Yeah, but um, it's not for money. I've never been driven by money. Um, Something's missing there for me. Yeah, I've lost that gene. But there are a lot of people out there who are just motivated by um, building businesses that create money,
Yep.
and sometimes the integrity, in my humble opinion, can get a little bit lost
Mhm.
in what they're teaching, and that's not me. I don't
Right.
want any part of that. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm. But that's not to say that money won't come in being faithful and moving with integrity and character in what you're doing.
absolutely.
It's not my primary objective.
Yeah, it's not the reason I wake up in the morning. It really
No,
isn't.
no.
No way, it isn't. Um, and even so much as my husband and I, he is he's a massage therapist, but that's like a very simple term for what he does.
Okay.
He's actually studying neurophysics
Hmm.
as well, and he's been doing this for years and years, and he's getting like paraplegics up and walking. There's eye
What?
exercises and
Yes.
all this neuro stuff. Like it is mind blowing the results that he's getting um, with people that he works so diligently with, and he just he'll just throw in a free session. He'll just go, nah, don't worry about it today, mate.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
this is on me. Because I believe that it's important give to
Yes.
give back to those people who don't have the money to necessarily be able to afford it on a too regular a basis. Make it
Yes.
accessible for people.
Accessible is my one of my favorite
Accessible.
words.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I love that he does that. But that's kind of like what we do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
There's a saying, there are those that are rich, yet they are poor, and they are poor, yet they are rich.
yeah. Right in here. Like
Hmm.
I've often we've had conversations. My kids are 15 and 12.
Okay.
And so we have conversations around the dinner table, especially when they were younger. It's like, oh, are we rich, mummy? Are we?
Hmm.
I'm like, hell yeah, we are.
Hmm.
And well, okay, so how come we haven't been to Disneyland yet, or we haven't been to, wherever they want to go? How come we don't have a boat like such and such? And I'm like, well, it depends. Define what rich is. If you're
Thank you.
talking money in the bank, all right, and my son was 7 at the time. If we're talking
Hmm.
money in the bank, we're not that rich. But if we're talking what we have in our lives, that we have each other, we have everything we need, we are the richest people on this planet, my boy. We really, really are.
Hmm.
And so it's just giving that different definition of, what is
Yes.
rich, what is poor. Poor
Yes.
is, you behave badly, man. That is just, don't behave that. That is poor,
That's
you know,
poor.
that is poor. um, don't act so poorly, dude,
Hmm.
yeah. So, yeah, that's us. They're the kind of
That's
deep and meaningful conversations we have here at our household.
but at the same time, we are pretty much out of time here.
My goodness. And yeah, like Kathy, I was like thinking, how am I going to just sit here for an hour
Right.
and talk to some guy I've never talked to before, right? And look at that. I've loved
Flies.
talking to you. You're like, do you know, let me just say something.
Sure.
I feel like I've just come out here because I haven't told anyone really. Not many people know that I'm in recovery, like from
Really?
alcohol. Like, certain people, very, very special people in my life that have been monumental and supportive. Yes, they know.
Yes.
Um, I have just felt like a huge kind of weight has lifted off my shoulders. And I
Really?
want to thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you because I didn't intend on doing that. Um, it was just something that I kind of felt I could do. And
Yeah.
that's just another layer of that discomfort that I've just pushed through. And now I feel lighter for that, whatever that's worth.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm cheering for you. I have
I'm
been.
beaming right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
not going to get to sleep. You know that, right?
Right. Exactly. No, that is amazing. So amazing to hear. And I just shared my whole deportation marriage story on a Pilates conversation.
Why not?
Why not?
What have we got now? We've only got, what have we got? We got like not too many viewers. It's fine. Like we
That's
can,
true.
but they can watch it later.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
well.
We're among friends.
I think I'm blushing actually. But anyway, it's all good.
Awesome.
Thanks so
Well,
much for having me.
yes, thank you so much, Celia. It's been so amazing, and I
Yeah, my
will
pleasure.
repost this. I'll send you the message. I'll send you the link to it,
Yeah,
and we'll go from there. Thanks so
get
much.
onto it. Great.
Awesome.
Enjoy that space. It's gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to Core Conversation today. I encourage you to check out our website at personalvictory.ca/core conversations to keep the conversation going. We have our forum where we can talk about different issues. You can highlight any teacher trainings that you have. You can ask questions of our guests, and you can just find out who is coming up next. So join us there, and thanks again for listening to Core Conversations.